So Sarah, who you may remember from this video where we were running around Fort Worth, she is Vlogger Bonds on these YouTube. She keeps posting these videos during VEDA where she is cooking, and she is making the outrageous claim that the stuff she's cooking is easy. Now, if just the word cooking strikes fear into your heart the same way it does into mine, her recipes are not really that easy. She's doing shit like poaching eggs and cutting up avocado. Okay, I've done that before. But if you've never sliced an avocado, that's a daunting thing to ask. So I thought that I would share with you my legitimately easy breakfast eggy scramble thing that I make in the morning when I desire something more substantial than water. The camera angles on this video are going to be tight, not so much for artistic license, but because there's only so much of my kitchen I'm willing to clean for a cooking video. Here we go! Okay, so to make this you're gonna need 2 or 3 eggs in a bowl, fork, some butter, and salt. And then open up your spice cabinet if you have one and pull out anything that appeals to you. If you only have salt, that's fine. I add the following things because my husband already bought them. Garlic powder, paprika, cayenne pepper, turmeric, basil. All this crap is totally optional, but it makes your eggs feel more fancy because you're like adding shit to it. I will also be adding some cheese, but that's only because we happen to have cheese and I'm trying to pretend that omelets are a thing I will be able to make in the future. So the first step is to crack your eggs and put them in the bowl. Crack your eggs, get that shit all over the table, throw your eggshells away. And now, this is the technical part of the process. You're gonna like stabbity stab the yolks and just stir up these eggs. You see that? That was stirring. If you can do stirring, shaking, and pouring with some egg cracking thrown in, you can make these eggs. Now we add all of our fancy accoutrement by just like, you know, putting it in there. Open it, put it in there. Doesn't matter how much. More spices means tastier eggs. Woo! Except for the cayenne pepper, that I just put a little bit in. Turmeric's supposed to be good for you, so I add a lot. I don't know. So if all you added was salt, you'd still have eggs. And now you go back to stirring. I like to stir all this crap into the eggs so that by the time they're on the stove, I don't really have to do anything except push them around with a spatula. So now you're gonna take your butter and you're gonna cut off like that much. This is just to make the pan not sticky. You can also use cooking spray if you have that and you're lazier, or you can use oil if you're willing to like sit there and move it around the pan. I'm not. I like to use butter because I can just take my fork and go choo-choo-choo around the pan and get it all greased up and nice. You're gonna put your butter in the pan and you're gonna turn on your burner to medium heat. You're gonna take your trusty fork and you're gonna make sure that the butter gets all over the pan so that the eggs won't stick, so that you don't have a big, messy, cleany-uppy thing later. Also, butter is delicious. This may be the hardest, most complicated part of the whole process. So your butter is gonna start to do that after a few minutes, maybe like 1. So then you take your bowl of eggs and go. Now I've taken to just letting them sit for a little while and then attempting to flip them because I like to think that in the future I'll be able to make omelets and this is the first step to learning. But really what happens is the eggs just sort of get smooshed around. So you can take your spatula and just like shove the eggs around until they're all cooked up and it'll get about the same effect and be much easier. So here's my attempt at making an omelet. Yeah! See, and this is what if you just go right in and shove your spatula around in the eggs, this is pretty much what'll happen anyway. We are not worried about presentation at all. If you're ambitious and want to add cheese, now's probably the time to do it. Yeah, that's how you egg. This is also totally optional, what with the cheese, and then I'm gonna pretend that I meant to do that. Obviously, I'm a pro cook. I feel like these eggs are done enough. So then you take your eggs and you put them on your favorite Disney themed plate. Ta-da! That is easy, Sarah.
This is something I have to do alone. I winked at her knowingly, hoping maybe she'd think I meant something by it when I really meant nothing at all.